Welcome to the channel that will give you the information that will make you want to say thanks for that. I'm trying to spread knowledge of finance and investing to help people get an advantage in the game. In my last video, I showed that even Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank thinks that it's a big failure in our education system to not teach people about finance because, unfortunately, the world revolves around finance. Everyone does need to have money because with money you can pay your bills, pay for food and shelter, help charities, travel, or what have you. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like when I get spammed with messages on Facebook from old friends telling me about some pyramid scheme that for just $1,000 I can buy some products and get rich from selling them at home. Now, I also can't stand those ads I constantly see of some guy standing in his garage with a Lamborghini in the background telling me how he got so rich and for just $100 he can tell me the secret to get rich too. I'm pretty sure the only secret that guy knows about getting rich is by selling the secret to get rich. So because of that, I am offering all this information for free, and I will never ask you for money or try to sell you anything. I'm not going to tell you that I know the secrets to get rich quickly, but I will try to help you get rich slowly. In order to get rich slowly, you need to understand how compound interest works and that everything you invest today will be worth a lot more in 10 to 20 years. So stop delaying and have some discipline. Start investing now. Set up some sort of recurring transfer every paycheck you get into a registered investment account like an RRSP or TFSA. And if you don't know which one you should be using right now, check out my 2 last videos where I explain RRSPs and TFSAs and compare them, trying to decide which one is best for you now. Normally you have to pay for such great information about finance, but thanks to YouTube, you get it for free, and all I ask that you do is hit that like button down there, hit the subscribe button, and share this on your page so that other people you know can also benefit from this great knowledge. Finances are arguably the most complicated but also the most important thing in our adult lives, except for maybe love, which is much more important and also much more complicated. So without further ado, let's get started. Today's video is going to be rather short and I'm going to cover compound interest. We will also discuss the true cost of using your money to buy something right now versus investing it for your future. You all know the old adage about needs and wants. Well, we all have certain needs like food, shelter, clothing, utility bills, etc. And we all have wants like fancy cars, fancy clothes, fancier dinners, and other fancy things. In my first video, I mentioned Einstein's quote about compound interest saying that it is a true wonder of the world and those that understand it earn it and those that do not understand it pay it. You may have heard of a famous study by Stanford University about delayed gratification. It's also called the marshmallow study. Basically, they brought in a bunch of children and told them they could have 1 marshmallow now, or if they waited 15 minutes, they could have more marshmallows. They left that marshmallow sitting right in front of them and then walked out of the room to leave them alone with it. Well, there were mixed results. Some kids waited for the 15 minutes to be over and then they got lots of marshmallows, and some kids just ate that 1 marshmallow now and they were happy for a few seconds. The most significant part of that study was the follow-up done years later. They found that there was a direct correlation between the people who decided to wait for the extra marshmallows later and higher SAT scores. They basically found that the children that were able to grasp the concept of delayed gratification at an early age were much smarter in their teenage years. So let's all be smart and delay that gratification. Because of inflation, the cost of something now is actually costing you a lot more in the long run. Because if you choose not to buy that item today and put that money rather into an investment, it will be worth way more than the item is worth now. So a great way to avoid impulse buys, which can lead to buyer's remorse, which is regretting a purchase later, is to think about the true cost and the true worth. To do this, I multiply the price tag by 5, which I know seems a bit excessive, but that is the truth. Whatever money you're buying it with now could be worth 5 times as much when you retire. So is that item actually worth it now? Is the item going to go up in value or down in value? And what does it give to you? I then ask myself about other alternatives that might be cheaper and if they're going to deliver the same amount of quality or happiness as this expensive item, or is it going to be better to buy the cheaper item? Now, there's always a perfect price point depending on where you are in life and how much money you have to burn. Now, everyone has different things that bring them joy, whether it's getting your hair and nails done every month, or going to Starbucks every morning, or having that 90-inch TV in your living room. But what we need to make sure that we do is that we keep investing rather than only spending. So allow yourself to have those things that bring you great joy, but maybe tighten it up in other areas so that you can invest now, which, like with compound interest, will pay off exponentially in the future. So the next time you're going to buy something, look at that price tag and multiply it by 5 and think, is this item really worth having that much less money when I retire? And actually, what is this going to bring me right now? Is it going to make me happier? Is it going to make me smarter, like a book? Is it going to make me fatter if I'm buying a cake? Or maybe it's going to make you fitter if you're buying a nice exercise bike. Speaking of exercise bikes, it's also important to look at the alternatives and maybe a different brand, because there's a certain brand of bike out there that I personally think is very overpriced, and I know a few people that have it, and I also know a few people that got the alternatives, which are significantly lower and are also very happy with the product they got. Okay, so getting back to compound interest, it's a great way to make your money make money for you. Let's say you save $100 now and every year it doubles. Well, after 1 year you've got $200, but then another year later you've got $400, and of course a year after that you'd have $800. So everything you save now actually earns you money, which gets added to your pile, which earns you more money, which gets added to your pile, and so on, which means your money grows exponentially. For example, if you start investing $900 a month at age 20, you will be a millionaire by age 50. But if you wait until you're 30 years old, it would take $2,100 a month to be a millionaire at age 50. And if you wait until you're 40 years old, it would take $6,200 a month to be a millionaire at age 50. So if you want to be a millionaire at age 50, it is imperatively important to start early. If you are, of course, already in your 40s, then I suggest you start saving as fast as you can. And if you're in your 20s, then no better time than now. And if you have children in their teens, maybe show them this video or teach them a little bit about compound interest so that they can realize if they start saving at 20, it actually doesn't take that big of a monthly investment to grow to be a millionaire by 50. Now, right now, at this very moment, I know it looks a little bit scary to invest because most things in most markets are at all-time highs. The reason is because everybody knows that holding cash is a very bad idea right now, so they're investing it in everything that they can, which of course has raised all the investment prices to all-time highs. Keeping that money in your savings account right now is safe, but you're probably earning less than half of 1%. And we're looking at this year 8% inflation, which means that your Subway sandwich is going to cost an extra $1, and I don't think you're going to make that money in your savings account. The absolute worst thing you can do, though, is keep money in cash or in a checking account earning absolutely zero interest, which is why in my checking account right now I have about 8 cents. Now, you can learn about different things that you can do with your money so that you don't lose any purchasing power with this inflation coming by watching my previous video and looking at the different things you can invest in. And you can also learn about RRSPs and TFSAs in the 2 previous videos before that. I do encourage you to talk to your local investment planner or financial advisor to look at your current situation and your risk tolerance and figure out the best way to invest your money so that you don't lose out when you're getting this intense inflation this year. Don't forget that the deadline to contribute to your RRSP is March 1st if you want to save on taxes from last year, but I would take a look at what your taxes are compared to previous years because most people were affected by that sickness that we're not allowed to talk about, and I think most people made less money in 2020 than they have in previous years and that they will in future years, so it might be a good idea to save that RRSP fee contribution room until you're making what you were previously, or of course making more as you climb the ranks. If you have any other specific questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. But remember, I am not your financial advisor, so this is not financial advice. This is just a friendly guy on the internet trying to give some useful information. If you haven't already, then please hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more great videos. And please remember to always stay positive, not just in your minds, but in your bank accounts as well, because it is a matter of life and debt. We'll see you next time.